Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Mike at Filmboy24, and it's that time of the week again, or the month, or it's just that time again for a deliciously flavorful episode of Found Film. It's Found Film number 67. That's a lot of found films. It's Kodachrome Super 8, and we have some results. So if you're new to my channel, well, let me just say thank you and welcome. My name is Mike, as I mentioned in that ridiculous intro, and I'm overly grateful that you're here. Speaking of that, I do want to thank everybody that has chimed in so far, that's watched one of my ridiculous videos. I've been shooting film or analog format for the better part of 40 years now, and I didn't ever plan on this channel being what it is today. I thought it would be just a few of my friends and a couple of people that also had the same interest. And now here we are almost 4 years later, almost 5,000 subscribers. That means the world to me. It's not a lot to a lot of people. To this goofball, it is. So thank you so much. This channel is nothing without you, specifically you. Moving on, I do have a live stream every Sunday-ish. Almost every Sunday. If I'm going to cancel it, I'll put that in my notifications tab. Is that it? No, my community tab. And maybe you'll get a notification. So try to stop by if you can. It's every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. I'm here in Florida, so we're in the eastern sector of the time zones. Anyway, what we have today is Found Film number 67. I just rolling. I'm so excited about Found Film. You know what Found Film is to me, anyway. I coined this ridiculous phrase. I'm sure it's not mine, but it's an old roll of cine film or still film that was shot presumably many millions of years ago, or at least 25 to 50 years ago, and then forgotten about and never processed for whatever reason. I mean, everybody has things going on. There's reasons for not processing their film. There could be a death in the family. Somebody could move. It could get lost, or it disappeared in a garage sale or something. I don't know, but it ended up in my hands because I'd rather have it in my hands than in the hands of the landfill, where they got the big tractors that just crush it and no one will ever see it. To me, this is an exciting little memory box. It's a mystery as to what Americana and abroad was like in the typically 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. We don't know until we process it. And that's exactly what I did with this roll right here. This empty cartridge now, because it's processed and it's in here. This is Kodachrome, which if you know film at all, you know Kodachrome. It came out in 1935. It was one of the absolute first color films by Kodak, or color films, period. But this is the finished product. I process all of my own movie film. I have not used a professional lab in at least 25 years. I did used to use labs when this stuff was very prevalent and this is what you shot. I would take it to Kmart or Walmart or Pick and Save. And for about $5, you could have it processed and sent back to you, and you watch it on the projector and have fun with it. I do all that myself now. I do it in a Lomo UPB-1A processing tank. For this particular roll right here, I processed it in Kodak's HC110 formula. I used the B formula, which is 31:1. And I did it for 4.5 minutes at about 67.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Now this film has rimjet on it. That's that anti-halation or the glare layer. It's this black layer they put on the base of the film that has to be removed at some point during the process. And I do that sometimes at the beginning. Some of this older film can be very stubborn. So most of the time I can get some of it off anyway at the beginning, and then at the very end you got to take a little soft cloth or something like that and get the rest of it off. Anyway, there's the Kodachrome lesson for the day. This roll of film right here, I bought this in late 2019. So yes, well before I even started this channel, because I was, processing Super 8 film back then as well. And I bought others with it. I don't know how many I had gotten, because over the years they just kind of get put here and there, and when I pull film they get moved, and So now I have a couple of hundred rolls of found film that still need processed, but they're not all like together. So I've done, this is the fourth one that I've done out of this batch that I got on eBay. I got these on eBay in 2019. Let me remind you, I've done, like I say, 4 others. I'll put them somewhere on the sides of me, the found film numbers and what they, kind of just to give you, you can see them now, kind of just to give you a reminder. There's some fun in the pool, and then, I don't know, I put notes here, and then an Easter egg hunt. Yeah, that's right. So, typical family and Americana and fun family events and activities. So what's this one? Well, Kodachrome is very, very, very difficult to get images from these days when it was shot this many years ago. When I say this many, Kodak puts edge codes on the film itself. Right along the edge where the perforations are, they will put typically the film number, their model number of the film, or in this case, it will just say Kodachrome 40. I'm going to find the end here. You're not going to be able to see it, but along the edge here where the perforations or sprocket holes are, you got to look very carefully. And they used to put little shapes, and those shapes, a little series of shapes, 1 to 3, those shapes give you a good understanding of when that particular roll of film was manufactured. The shapes on this one were a triangle, a square, and a triangle, which means this roll was manufactured in 1984. So I can probably put this film shot somewhere in that range, 1984, 85. Again, Kodachrome's difficult. It's usually always fogged up. It's very grainy at this stage in processing because it's a reversal film. I process it as a black and white negative because the color process is long gone and it's a very difficult process. So keep those few things in mind, but you're not going to have any trouble understanding what's going on in this film. So here it is. Found film truly is like a box of chocolates. Yeah, I know that's old and cliche, but you really never know what you're going to get out of one of these little memory boxes here. Typically, that's what we see. You know that it's a family out golfing with friends, probably, or so, you know, men, women out on the links, or having a good time. Falls right in line with what we have gotten from this batch of film previously. And I don't know if I mentioned, but this came from La Habra Heights, California. That's where the original seller of this film was. I don't know if that's where that was filmed. Probably somewhere in California would be my guess. It's not all that common for film to travel, unless, of course, I mean, they could travel. So the family was probably stationary somewhere there in California. But again, that the golf course could be anywhere in the entire world. Because you took your Super 8 camera with you just like you take your phone now. And you film. But you only had 3 minutes to do it back then. Or 3.5. I hope that you enjoyed this little episode. These are quick. They're fun. If you have a roll of found film that you didn't shoot and it was in a camera and it's fully exposed, or you think it might be, sound effects, send me a little email or a long one, whatever you want to do, and let me know and we can work something out. Typically what I do with viewer found film, if you have it and you send it to me, I process it, scan it for free, and then I have the right or the option to show it on my channel as a found film episode. And I would also send you a digital copy via Google Drive if you would, if you'd want a copy. So it becomes my film, but I will process, scan it for free, and send you a copy of it, no matter whether I show it or not. I've only had one film in all of my found film developing, that's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of rolls, that was inappropriate, and I couldn't show right here on YouTube. It had some things on it that were not appropriate. They were not age appropriate. I don't know who's watching. So, but for the most part, this is what we get. We get Americana, we get worldwide Acana. I'm in the States, so you know what I mean. If you have a roll of film that you shot, I can process and scan that as well, but I do have to charge you a little bit for that. Typically a lot less than what most companies do. But you're going to get, you know, my home scanning, hand processing, and scanning results. So if you're testing a camera or you got an old roll and you want to finish it off or something, well, you can email me for that as well. That's enough. If you enjoyed this little episode, I want you to do me a favor, please. It helps me a lot, if you're still watching at this point anyway. And just do that. You see, that's where I put things, right there. Hit the little thumbs up button. It helps the old YouTube algorithm. And right there, if you think I've earned it, how about hit the subscribe clicker. I'll even do the sound effect for you. Because, you know, I would like to get to 5,000 subscribers. My daughter never believed I would get there, and neither did I. So more just to say, aha, I made it to 5,000, which is a lot for me, because there's definitely not 5,000 people that I know in this world. Well, I kind of do now. Until the very next time that I see all of your beautiful faces, even though I can't really see any of them at all. I'll see all of you on the very next go-around.